गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरोधारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरोधारी यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जन रंजना यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जन रंजना यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर ब्रह्मानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नस्तप्रियेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतं सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके Bhakti Bhavati Naistakhem. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is very meant of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, to the Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance in classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, by rendering of service unto the pure devotees of the Lord, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental song is established as an irrevocable fact. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30 and Text 36. Yatra Narayana Sakshat, Yatra Narayana Sakshat, Bhagavan Yasigam Gati, Bhagavan Yasinam Gati, Samstuyate Satkadasu, Samstuyate Satkadasu, Mukta Sangha Puna Puna, Mukta Sangha Puna Puna, Yatra Narayana Sakshat, Bhagavan Yasinam Gati, Samstuyate Satkadasu, Mukta Sanghe Puna Puna, Yatra Narayana Sakshat, Bhagavan Yasinam Gati, Samstuyate Satkadasu, Mukta Sangha Puna Puna.
Yatra Narayana Sakshat, Bhagavan Yasinam Gati, Samstuyate Satkadasu, Mukta Sangha Puna Puna. Yatra Narayana Sakshat, Yatra Narayana Sakshat, Bhagavan Yasinam Gati, Bhagavan Yasinam Gati, Samstuyate Satkadasu, Samstuyate Satkadasu, Mukta Sangha Puna Puna, Mukta Sangha Puna Puna. Yatra Narayana Sakshat, Yatra Narayana Sakshat, Bhagavan Yasinam Gati, Bhagavan Yasinam Gati, Samstuyate Satkadasu, Samstuyate Satkadasu, Mukta Sangha Puna Puna, Mukta Sangha Puna Puna.
Mataji.
Yatra Narayana Sakshat, Bhagavan Yasinam Gati, Samstuyate Satkadasu, Mukta Sangha Puna Puna.
Yatra Ve Narayana, Lord Narayana, Sakshat, directly, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yasinam, of person in the renounced order of life. Gati, the ultimate goal. Samstayate is worshipped. Sarkadaso, by discussing the transcendental vibration. Mukta Sange, by those who are liberated from material contamination. Puna Puna, again and again. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The Supreme Lord Narayana is present among devotees who are engaged in hearing and chanting the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Narayana is the ultimate goal of sannyasis, those in the renounced order of life. And Narayana is worshipped through the Sankirtan movement by those who are liberated from material contamination. Indeed, they recite the holy name again and again. Purport: the Mayavadi Sannyas are missing the real presence of Narayana. This is because they falsely claim to be Narayana himself. According to the customary etiquette of Mayavadi Sannyas, they address one another as Narayana. To say that everyone is a temple of Narayana is correct, but to accept another human being as Narayana is a great offense. The conception of Daritra Narayan or poor Narayan, an attempt to identify the poor with Narayana, is also a great offense. Even to identify Narayana with demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva is also an offense. Yasto Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradi Daivata Samadvenaiva Vikseta Sa Pasandi Bhavet Dhruvam. One who considers Lord Narayana on a level with great demigod like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva is immediately listed among non-believers. The fact is that by performing Sankirtan Yajna, one can immediately please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Narayana himself descends and immediately is present. In this age of Kali, Narayana is immediately present in the form of Lord Chaitanya. Concerning Lord Chaitanya, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 5, Text 32 states, Krishna Varnam Tvisa Krishna Sango Pangasra Parsaram Yagye Sankirtana Prayer Yajante Hisumedasa. In this age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons and confidential companions. After all, human life is meant for pleasing Narayana, and this can easily be done by performing Sankirtan Yajna. Whenever there is congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord, Gaura Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his incarnation as Lord Chaitanya, immediately appears and is worshipped by Sankirtan Yajna. In this verse it is said that Narayana is Nyasinam Gati, the ultimate goal of the sannyasis. The goal of those who have renounced of material world is attainment of Narayan. A Vaishnava sannyasi therefore dedicates his life to serving Narayana. He does not falsely claim to be Narayan. Instead of becoming nirvaira, non-envious of other living entities, one who tries to become Narayana becomes envious of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the attempt To become Narayana constitutes the greatest offense. Actually, when one chants or discusses the transcendental activities of the Lord, he immediately becomes non-envious. In the material world, everyone is envious of everyone else. But by vibrating, discussing the holy name of the Lord, one becomes non-envious and devoid of material anchoring. Because of our envy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we have become envious of all other living entities. When we are no longer envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there will be real peace, unity, fraternity in human society. Without Narayana or Sankirtan Yajna, there cannot be peace in the material world. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakso Ranmalita Meno Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Am Sri Gurun Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sangrajatam Sahagano Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vesakan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagat Pate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Aripriye Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripasindubhya Evecha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yatra Narayana Sakshat Bhagavan Yasinam Gati Samstuyate Sarkadasu Mukta Sangha Puna Puna. The Supreme Lord Narayana is present among devotees who are engaged in hearing and chanting the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Narayana is the ultimate goal of sannyasis, those in the renounced order of life, and Narayana is worshipped through the Sankirtan movement by those who are liberated from material contamination. Indeed, they receive the holy name again and again. So this is a wonderful information here. And in the purport, Prabhupada beautifully writes more detailed information why the living entities in this world, they are not ready to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Is all it says due to the enviousness towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The living beings are not coming front into service of the Lord. And because of these great offenses of enviousness against the Lord, somewhere or other they have become envious of each other in this world. Prabhupada says there are great competition is going on in the material world, that who is more better, who is more greater. So the people of this material world, they are not having any peace and happiness in their life. They are always living in a very great anxiety because they always wanted to compete with another person. So in this way, their mind is not settled down in something higher goal. And in the chapter 2, text 26 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Nasti buddhi ayuktaksya, na chayuktaksya bhavana, na cha bhavaita santir, asantasya kutha sukham. When a person is not connected into the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through Krishna consciousness, he will not have spiritual intelligence. Without spiritual intelligence, he will not have a steady mind. Without a steady mind, he will not have peace in his life. Without peace, how he is going to have happiness in his life? So happiness is very important in people's life. Even we are sitting here today, we are in the temple here today, and because we are happier than we are sitting here, if we are not happier, we will leave the assembly of the devotees, and we will seek somewhere wherever we can be more happy and peaceful. So ultimately, human life, their ultimate desire is to be happy in their life. But happiness is only possible when there can be some peace in their life. And peace is only possible when their mind is very steady. And the mind can be very steady if they can have a spiritual intelligence. And to have the spiritual intelligence, they must be connected into the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So naturally the people out there, they are not having any kinds of information, any kinds of knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and their mind is not settled into the highest purpose of life, and simply they are fighting like cats and dogs, thinking that, are you better or me better? A great competition is going on. Prabhupada says the competition are there also in the spiritual world. But there is a difference between spiritual competition and material competition. The spiritual competition is that everything centered around Lord Krishna. And everybody are competing who can do better service for Krishna, who can satisfy Krishna much more better and better. They are not competing among their own self, each other. They are competing to see how to satisfy Krishna in their life. Whereas the competition in the material world is how to bring down another person. It's not centered around the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Prabhupada have explained that naturally the devotees won't be competing among each other, because they don't have time to compete among each other. All their times have been spent how to go back to Krishna. So they are on the path of going back to Godhead. So these minor things in the material world doesn't interest them. But they've got higher things to achieve in their life. And Chanakya Pandit, Prabhupada have quoted that Chanakya Pandit says that there are two kinds of envious people in the world. One is a snake, another one is a human being. So now Chanakya Pandit says between the snake and the human being, he says that the human being is more dangerous than the snake. Why? He says that snake are envious and human being also envious, but he says between these two, the human being are more dangerous than the snake. Because there is snake who are envious, there is such a mantra, there are charming mantra. You play, certain mantra, you can, subdue, the snake. You can bring the snake under control by certain mantra or certain hymns. But for a human being, it is so difficult to bring him under control. Furthermore, he says that the human being are more envious than the snake because the human being has got a developed consciousness. The very highly educated in the world. The snake has gone to any university, any college, how to destroy other people. So their intelligence is very, limited to poison somebody. Whereas the human being has gone and done, his PhD in the university. So he got, very big, knowledge in himself how to poison other people. That's what he says, avrita chetana, sankuchatu chetana, mukuti chetana, vikachita chetana, and purna vikachita chetana. Purna vikachita means a blossom consciousness. There are 5 kinds of consciousness in the living being. Avrita chetana is the consciousness, the covered consciousness. And that covered consciousness applies to the plants, the trees, and these non-moving living beings. And there are sankuchita chetana, there are consciousness, with the animals are there. It is a shrunken consciousness. And mukuchitta chetana is a seed type of consciousness. Just like you take a seed, you put it into the soil and then it's covered, you don't see the seed. So that's the first consciousness, that, covered consciousness. The plant consciousness is a covered consciousness, not developed. And slowly you will see there's a shrunken coming out. That is the animal consciousness. You begin to see something, they're moving around. And mukuchita consciousness is now within that plant, now there are another seed is coming. And after some time, it becomes like a flower, blossom as a flower, and finally it becomes, total blossom of flower. So the Shastra said there are 5 kinds of consciousness of living being in the world. There is the covered consciousness, shrunken consciousness, seed type of consciousness, blossom consciousness, and total blossom consciousness. So the human being a total blossom consciousness. That's what it says, that the human being become more dangerous than the snake. Both are envious, but the snake can be just subdued by some sort of mantras. But the human being a very, developed consciousness. They think far more better than the snake. So in this way, the living beings are not ready to come and to submit themselves in Krishna consciousness because they are envious of Krishna. There's a different, as I said, there's a competition is going on everywhere, but the devotees circle also there's a competition. But their competition is centered around Krishna, who can do better service for Krishna. There's a spiritual competition, there's a material competition. The spiritual competition is that you see three types of people around you. Somebody is very advanced spiritually, somebody is, just equals to you, somebody is more lower than you. So when a spiritual competition comes in, when you see somebody more advanced than you, and you are very happy to see this person, true or not? Are you happy to see a devotee who's chanting more nicely, more better than you? They are more advanced than you. So in the spiritual competition, when we see somebody more advanced than us, we become happy about that person, and then we submit, we surrender to that person. And we see somebody equals to us, then we make friendship with that person. And when we see somebody more lower than us, and we try to be compassionate to help them out. This is the spiritual competition. The higher than you, you happy surrender, equals to you, you become his friend, and lower than you, you become compassionate to help him out. But the material competition is that when you see somebody more higher than you, more advanced than you, and you become envious of that person. And when you see somebody equals to you, immediately you think, oh, I'm more better than him. And when you see somebody more lower than you, you want to dominate him. There's a material, competition. Either you are envious of somebody who's doing better, or you are thinking you are more better than somebody who's equals to you, or you are dominating of somebody who's more lower than you. So in this way, Prabhupada says that in the material world, everyone is envious of everyone else, and a great competition is going on in the material world. People like animals compete among animals, the human being compete among the human being, the communities compete against another communities, and the nation compete against another nation, and the world is now waiting for the World War III. Very soon coming. Earlier they started Ukraine and Russia, now they've started Iran and Israel. And there are some idiots going to be on the Iran side, and there are some idiots going to be Israel side. There are some idiots are going to be in Russia side, and some idiots are going to be in the Ukraine side, but no idiots are going to come to Hare Krishna side. There's a problem in the world. The big problem in the world. They do not know what will bring solution, in the world. One of the Ukrainian devotees asked me, they are fighting, the Russian devotees, some have taken a harm, and some Ukrainian devotees have taken up a harm, what I should do. I say, you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. You have come here to please Krishna. When Prabhupada was in Delhi, during his time there was some, problem between Pakistan and India. And that time Prabhupada was in Delhi with some devotees in the garden, sitting and talking, and there were some reporters there. And at that time there was some, Pakistan throwing bomb everywhere. So one of the reporters have asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, you are sitting and talking here. What happens? The Pakistan throwing bomb, the bomb coming towards you. What you will do? Prabhupada says, oh, I will see Krishna is coming towards me. He said, Bhumiya po nalarvayo kammono buddhirivacha ahankari ithiyamme Bina Prakasir Astara. It is a separated energy of Krishna. Earth, water, fire, air. He said all these things are separated energy of Krishna. And I've been trained to see Krishna in everything. So I see, Krishna is coming. That's it. Devotees don't take a side of anybody around here. They are always on the side of Krishna. And as I said, that between the envious people, as Chanakya Pandit says, two kinds of envious people. One is a snake, another one is a human being. And between these two, the human being are more dangerous than the snake, because the human being consciousness is very developed. They have, educated in a different ways of life. And they use all their knowledge to destroy everybody else in the world. So now we have to see where this enviousness have arisen from, where it has come from. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 2, text 37 been explained. Bayam duvitaya bini vasate shat Isat astaya viparyo smrti tan mayayato jagate apsam bhaktya kayesam guru devatatma. And today, if you got some time, you go and refer to the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 2 and text 37. Everything emanates because of fear. Prabhupada explains even Indra is out of fear, is a fear. When somebody is doing very nice, sacrifice, tapasya, austerity, and Indra's fear that they are going to take over his position, his seat. So Indra is always finding ways how to destroy them. Even the demigods have got this problem. So in a way that fear comes, beautifully in that verse explained, fear comes because of the misidentification, your false identification with this material body. And why the false identification have come in? Because of your indulgence with the external energy, the illusionary energy of the material world. Because of our external involvement with the material energy, now we have got this, misidentification that I'm the body, and because of this misidentification, that somewhere or other fear has come. And now, because of this misidentification, we have forgotten Krishna. When we re-establish our consciousness in Krishna consciousness, then we'll be able to understand that we have got our eternal constitution, that we are part and parcel of Krishna. And we are servant of Krishna. Mamai vamsa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manasasranandriyani prakriti stani karsati. Somewhere or other that we have to understand that we are eternally fragmental part and parcel of Krishna. We are servant of Krishna. Why devotees are not fighting? Of course some places they are fighting, but generally they don't fight. Because they understand they are always a servant, they are not a master. When you feel no servant will go and fight with the master, and we address each other as a Prabhu, and we address somebody as a master in the way that servant never fight with the master. But in the material world, because of our involvement with all those things. Now Prabhupada writes in the purport that this fear is causing attachment to the material body, that bringing out envy in our life. And now he said, now you cannot eliminate this envy through impersonal realization. Now Prabhupada mentioned that the sannyasis on the Mayavadi side, they think that they are Narayana themselves. They are not ready to offer submit, surrender to the Supreme Personality of God Narayana. It's just simply because they are in the impersonal platform. There are different potency you derive from Krishna consciousness. Vadanti tat tat bhavira tadvam jnanam atmayam brahmeti paramatmeti Bhagavan eti sabdyathe. In the Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 11, it's been explained that the Lords, those who are knower of the Absolute Truth, they see the Lord in three places. There is the Brahman platform, there is the Paramatma platform, there is the Bhagavan platform. Brahman platform is the preliminary platform. Paramatma platform is the advanced platform. Bhagavan platform is the highest platform. And in the impersonal Brahman, and now the living entities, they are Ladini Sakti, they are spiritual Sakti. They are component of Ladini, Samvit and Sandini. They are Sachidananda, Isvara, Paramakrishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govindo. That they are the eternal, they are full of knowledge, full of bliss. Now this living entity being the spiritual potency, when they are elevated to the impersonal Brahman Mayavadi platform, they only attain the potency of Sat. Sat means they attain the potency of eternity. They got one potency comes to them, the impersonal Mayavadi, the Sat potency comes to them. And when they progress more into the coming to the Paramatma platform, they get two potency, they get Sat and Chit potency. When somebody comes to the understanding of Bhagavan, interacting with Bhagavan, and they get the potency Sachidananda. So the Mayavadis, they do not understand that Narayana is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because they have been enlightened with only one potency, that is the Sat potency. And the yogis, they also not, wanted to come and submit to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because they are enlightened with two potency of Satchit. And devotees, they freely, totally, independently, they surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because they have been enlightened with three potency altogether, Satchit Ananta. So totally, so Prabhupada explains that, the Brahman is, is like a sunshine potency. And the Paramatma is the sun surface potency. And the Bhagavan is the sun planet potency. When you become a devotee, you surrender to Krishna. You don't claim to be a Narayan, or you don't claim to be a yogi, you claim to be a servant of the Lord, because you understand the total opulences in the Bhagavan potency, Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Sadasya. There are all the opulences where, everybody looking for, all richness, all strength and beauty and knowledge, and, renunciation, so on, all are in the Bhagavan platform. So in this way, devotees, they surrender to Krishna. They don't behave like a Mayavadi, because they are enlightened with the, total potency of Krishna, that is Sachidananda. So now we have to come to the understanding that, now it's very difficult. Prabhupada says here that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes here, Krishna comes again, Narayana comes, Krishna Varnam, Tvisa Krishna, Sango Pankasra Parsalam. Again, Sankirtana prayer, Yajante Sumedasa. Prabhupada quote the verses here from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. He says that now Krishna comes back again to the world. Because of Kali Yuga, it's very difficult for us to understand the subject matter of Vedas. Prabhupada writes that it's very difficult. Veda is a very wide subject matter. But even is wide subject matter, but is also within the three modes of material nature. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he met Prakasananda Saraswati Maharaj, a Mayavadi sannyasi, then Mayavadi sannyasi was not happy with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, as a sannyasi, you should be knowing what is better work to do, but out of sentiments, you are singing and dancing and rolling on the ground with few other bunch of Hare Krishna people. He said, it is not very good. And he called him a Murka. Murka means foolish person. He said, Murka sannyasi nija dharma nahi jani bahukera hayapera bahukere sana. He says, you are foolish sannyasi. You don't even know what is the real dharma. You don't know what is the real dharma, simply out of sentiment, singing and dancing. And Prakasananda Saraswati Maharaj, he invited Mahaprabhu, come and sit with us. But earlier he told him, you're a fool. After that he said, come and sit. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Amihai ina sampradaya tumya tumara sabhaya vasitena yaya. He says, my dear Prakasananda Saraswati, I'm coming from the lower sampradaya and I'm not qualified to sit among all of you here. Very humble way. Mahaprabhu interact with this Mayavadi sannyas. No need to fight with them. Then Mahaprabhu says, Prabhu kahe tumi, Jagat Guru Pujetam, Ami Tomara Nahi Sishyare Sishyasam. He says, my dear Prakasananda Saraswati Maharaj, you are the Jagat Guru, you are the Guru for the whole universe. I'm not even, qualified, I'm not even qualified to be the same as your servant. I'm more lower than them. And Prakasananda Saraswati Maharaj bit cooled down, After all, this person, he admit that, he is fool. Then he asked him, Vedanta, Padavadyanam, Sannyasere, Dharma, Karachera achadeha bahukera karma. He says, as a sannyasi, you must know the dharma, the practice, the duty of a sannyasi is to study the Vedas. But then he says, why dancing sentiment in the street? Prabhu kami, Prabhu tumi dekhiya saksha narayana hinachara karakena iteke karana. He said, you look like Narayana himself. I look that you look like Narayana yourself, inachara, but you are engaged in the low class of activities. Why are you doing this? Murka, like a fool. And Mahaprabhu, he says that, Prabhu kahe suna stripade hiyare karana guru mare murka dekhi karilasa. And my Guru Maharaj says, I'm murka, I'm a fool. My Guru Maharaj Ishwara Puri says that you are a fool. And he says, Prabhu, tumi tomara, Vedanta nahi kakira, sarvanama japa sada, sara mantra. He said, my Guru Maharaj says, I'm a fool, I cannot understand the Vedas. So he said, you take a japa mala, he said, always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And my Guru Maharaj told me, Nama Vinu Kale Kale, Nahi Ara Dharma, Sarvanama Sarva Mantra, Esastra Marma. Marma means, in a hidden. He said, my Guru Maharaj says there is a hidden secret in the Sastra, in the Veda. He says that in Kali Yuga there is no other practice, no other dharma in the world available. Only one dharma is available in the world. He says that, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So that is very true. How are we going to understand the Vedas? The Vedas was spoken 155 trillion, 22 billion years ago. There was a time Brahma was created. Janmadiyasya yadanvayat itarau thardau abhigya swarat tene brahmadithaya adi kavayo. Into the heart of Brahmaji, Krishna, if imparted this knowledge of Veda. That was 155 trillion, 22 billion years ago when Brahma was created. Now Brahma got another 156 trillion and 18 billion years. Because his total duration of lifespan is 311 trillion, 40 billion years. So now already half is already over. So the Vedas was spoken 155 trillion and 22 billion years ago. And during when Krishna at the Dwarup and the end of the Dwarup, Dwarup, the previous yuga, that Krishna, about to lift his own abode, and at that time Vyasadeva, he understands Krishna is living now, and Kali Yuga is going to be begun, and now this one Veda nobody will understand. No. And he decided to divide the Vedas, make it more better, many and easier. So that one Veda he has divided into four. There is a Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda. Then he thought to himself again, it's still very difficult for people to understand. And he divided further Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka and Upanishad. Then he thought, still people going to be very foolish, very difficult. So he made, 6 Veda Angas. There is, Kalpa, Siksha, Vyakarana, Nirukti, Chanda and Jyotisha. Then he gave another 4 Upavedas. There is the Ayurveda, Shilpa Veda, Gandharva Veda and Dhanur Veda. Then he was thinking, people in Switzerland are going to be more foolish. They think everything can buy over by money, but it's not possible. So he thought people in the Kali Yuga is going to be very dull-headed. It's not possible. And there are 3 kinds of people in the creation. There are people in the mode of goodness, mode of passionate and mode of ignorance. So he thought, let me put it into 18 Puranas. There are 6 Puranas in the mode of goodness. There is the Vishnu Purana, Varaha Purana, Garuda Purana, Narada Purana, Padma Purana and Bhagavata Purana. And the Vishnu Purana, there is 23,000 verses are there. Like Bhagavad Gita, we got 700, and Vishnu Purana has got 23,000 verses. And Varaha Purana has got 24,000 verses. Varaha Purana. And Garuda Purana has got 19,000 verses. Narada Purana has got 25,000 verses. And Padma Purana has got 55,000 verses, and Bhagavata Purana has got 18,000 verses. Then now he gives, 6 Puranas for those who are in the mode of passionate. There is Brahma Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Brahmanda Purana, Markandeya Purana, Bhavishya Purana, and Vamana Purana. So Brahma Purana, there are 11,000 verses. Brahma Vaivarta Purana, there are 18,000 verses. Brahmanda Purana, there are 12,000 verses. Markandeya Purana, 9,000 verses. Bhavishya Purana, there are 14,500 verses. And Vamana Purana, again 10,000 verses. Now he brings out, 6 Puranas for those who are in the mode of ignorance, the way they think like animals. For them also can be connected into Krishna consciousness. And for them he brings Linga Purana, Linga Purana, Skanda Purana, Agni Purana, Linga Purana, Skanda Purana, Shiva Purana, Agni Purana, Matsya Purana and Kurma Purana. So the Linga Purana has got 11,000 verses, Skanda Purana has got 81,100 verses, and Shiva Purana has got 24,000 verses, and Agni Purana has got 15,400 verses, Matsya Purana has got 14,000 verses, and Kurma Purana has got 17,000 verses. All together Puranas have got 400,000 verses. So now you have to imagine now, you don't think you are very intelligent. Why Mahaprabhu says, my Guru says, I'm a fool, I cannot understand. So that one Veda spoken 155 trillion and 22 billion years ago, and because he cannot understand that one Veda, so Vyasadeva divide, okay, now Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, other Veda, he divide further, Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyakat, Upanishad, and then he divides further, Kalpa, Siksha, Vyakarana, Nirukti, Chanda, Jyotisha, and then bring out again Ayurveda, Kalpa Veda, Siksha, Shilpa Veda, Dhanur Veda, Gandharva Veda. Then he brings into this, 18 Puranas with 400,000 verses. So anybody can understand Veda. So the Mayavadi is simply boasting, I'm Narayana. So then he comes, Bharato, Panchama Veda, because now all those things are confusing for people. There are so many information there, but all confusing, contradict among each other, because all, bound to these 3 modes of material nature. Then Vyasadeva thought, I must give them something. He was not very happy, but he thought, must give them something. Then he brings out the Mahabharata. Now you watch the movie. When we talk something, people difficult, they go and watch the movie, it goes into their mind, they can remember. He says, now all these Vedas you see in the movie. How people are envious among each other, how they are fighting among each other, whom to be trusted, whom not to be studied in the same family, how people become, enemies. Just like, Duryodhana happy to bring in, Saguni's uncle to come and help him in the gamble, in the fight, and Duryodhana don't even know that actually Saguni been, set there by Krishna to destroy their family. Because, that the Duryodhana's mother, Gandhari, she was there. And before she was married to Dhritarashtra, and there was a horoscope saying that anybody marry this girl, Gandhari, they will die. And the second husband will remain, eternally. So there is a process they do that, they marry the girl either with the goat or, then they sacrifice the goat, and second marriage, and nobody will die. And some people, the vegetarian don't sacrifice the goat, they sacrifice the banana tree, because the banana tree will grow again. So now, this girl, Gandhari, she, horoscope says, anybody married this girl, husband will die very soon. So for that reason, the family have done some rituals, brought the goat, and then, and we go and put the tali, that string, and then the goat goes slaughtered. And this matter, Dhritarashtra do not know. So they didn't tell Dhritarashtra that actually this lady has got, this problem. So they married the lady to him, and Dhritarashtra was very angry. He got all his family, the girl's family, put it into the prison. And Sakuni also, brother of Gandhari, he also was inside the prison. And every day the Dhritarashtra was giving little bit food only for, enough for one person. And everybody have to share that and not enough. So they know if we are going to be, everybody going to be eating here, everybody will die. So let that one person remain and eat. Everybody will else. But that one person come out from the prison, he must, destroy the Dhritarashtra family. So all their food, they gave it to Saguni to eat. And the father said, when I die, you take my bone, you make a dice, from that, you play the game and destroy this family. So Saguni came out, alive by eating that food. He took the bone of the father and ashes, he made the dice and he was keeping. And the dice listened to Saguni. Go number 2, he goes number 2, go number 4. That's how he can win the game. So he was keeping, and Duryodhana, he saw that Saguni, my uncle, is very good player. He is very talented to play the game. He said, come and join me. But actually Krishna set Saguni to destroy Duryodhana, the 100 children, and Dhritarashtra, everybody in the family. So people do not know that, who is their friend and enemy in the same family. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, comes into the world. Now Vyasadeva thought, now let us bring the movie of Mahabharatam. And now from the Mahabharatam comes, Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the Vedas. If you have read, Raja Vidya, Rajagoyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam, Pratyak Savaghamam Dharmyam, Susukum Kartam Abhyayam. That Bhagavad Gita is the king of all knowledge. Now you don't need to go and look for the Vedas to study. You don't need to look for the 4 Vedas to study. You don't need to look for the limbs of the Vedas to study. You don't need to look for the Puranas to study. You just read Bhagavad Gita because the 5th Veda been coming in. The essence of all, division of the Veda is, inside the Bhagavad Gita. And, in this way, that, devotee understand that, we don't need to go to anywhere else. Just surrender to Krishna because he is the ultimate goal of life. And even the greatest Mayavadi teacher, who is the Sankaracharya, say now people have to understand there are 6 kinds of Vedanta school in India. There are 6 kinds of Vedanta school. You go to school, 6 different kinds. I think our Cristiano Ronaldo have gone to India. So there is 6 kinds of Vedanta school. That is called Advaita school, Vishista Advaita school, Vishista Dvaita school, Suddha Dvaita school, Dvaita school, Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. The Advaita school been propounded by Adi Shankara, and Vishista Advaita by Ramanujacharya. Vishista Dvaita by Madhvacharya. And Suddha Dvaita is by Vallabhacharya. Dvaita by Nimbarka Swami. And Achintya Beda Beda Tattva by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And there are 6 kinds of philosophies. The Mimamsa philosophy. Mimamsa, Sankhya, Nyaya, Mayavadi, Patanjali, and Vedanta. So the Mimamsa philosophy, been preached by, Jaimani Rishi. Sankhya philosophy been preached by Kapila Rishi. Nyaya philosophy is preached by, Sankhya philosophy by Kapila Rishi, and the Nyaya philosophy is preached by Jaimani, Kapila, and Gautama Rishi, Nyaya philosophy. And Mayavadi philosophy preached by Astavakra Rishi, and Yoga philosophy preached by Patanjali Rishi, And Vedanta philosophy is preached by Vyasadeva. So there are different schools are there, different philosophies are there. With all those things, Mayavadi, somewhere they are confused, they are not able to understand that Narayana is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because they have only been enlightened by what potency? What potency? Only Sat potency, eternity. The Paramatma is enlightened by Sat Chit, eternal and knowledge potency. The devotees are enlightened by eternity, knowledge and bliss potency, so they completely understand they are always fragmental, part and parcel of Krishna. So in this way the competition in the world can be solved. The enmity against each other can be solved if you can understand and surrender to Lord Krishna. There are two kinds of being been mentioned in the 16th chapter. Go bhutao sargo lokesmin daivam asuram evacha daivam vitarasat parda asuram partham mechurin. There are two kinds of being in this world. One is the divine, another one is demon. Daivi sampat vimukshaya nibhandaya asuri mata macha samsudim devam abhijotosi pandava. Arjuna, those who are situated in the divine qualities, they are known as the transcendentalists. They free from the entanglement of life. Those who are situated into the demoniac qualities, they become entangled again in the material world. So there was, the grandfather was telling a story to the grandson. He said there are two animals inside the heart of a person, and the two animals are fighting. The grandfather said one is good animal, another one is bad animal. And the two animals, good and bad animals, are seated in one's heart, and the two animals are fighting. So the grandson asked the grandfather, which animal will win? The two animals are fighting, good and bad animals fighting, which animal will win? The grandfather said, whichever animals it takes can give the food, that animal will win. So inside us there is good thoughts are there, bad thoughts are there. Which will win? Whichever thoughts you are, what do you do? Whichever thoughts you are feeding. So if you wanted to have a divine thoughts, you have to divinely, you have to think Krishna and feel Krishna through the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare. Thank you so much for being here today. Any questions, any comments? And the knowledge, preached by Adi Shankara, he himself finally declared Brahmanyo Devaki Putra. He says, even though he propounded the impersonal philosophy, he says that the Supreme Lord is Krishna, the son of Devaki. And when he was 8 years old, he took sannyas when he's 8 years old. He wants to remember the mother was not allowing, so one time the mother took him to the riverside to take bath, and while he was bathing there was a crocodile caught his foot, and then he found this a very good time to take sannyas, when he got a trouble. Then because his mother was not allowing him to take sannyas, so now the crocodile already caught his foot, and he told the mother, you have to let me to take sannyas, otherwise the crocodile is going to eat me. Crocodile is going to eat me. Mother said, okay, you go ahead and take sannyas, otherwise you have been eaten by crocodile. Then the mother was very sad, my son is taking sannyas. Then he said, my dear mother, don't worry, whenever you are, you need me, I'll come. So when at the last part of her life she was dying, and then he knows the mother is dying, so he came to the mother. And then he came to the mother says, please, say something. So then he was talking Maya was the philosophy. Mother says very boring. Then he was chanting Shiva mantra. When he was chanting Shiva mantra, Lord Shiva appeared with the trident, with the ashes, with the snake and everything. She said, I'm very scared. Something more beautiful, more, desiring. Then he sing, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. But when Krishna appeared, with the flute smiling, she left the body thinking of Krishna and went back to Godhead. So very attractive. Even he preached, because there are people who want to be a God. So he give them a little bit, at least, you think that God, 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 God. Even you're thinking you're God, but at least, the word God will help you. And, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, he says, yes, you are God. Krishna is God, everybody is God, but you are small God, Krishna is big God. Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. So he never take away the idea. Otherwise you don't have any idea about God. So he said, Naman, you think you're God? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come, he said, actually you are God, I'm agreeing. But you are small God, Krishna is big God. Now chant Hare Krishna and be happy. That's it. Very easily solve the problem. Yeah, Mataji.
Once I heard in a lecture a statement, the devotee said, when Krishna will give love to a devotee, then Kaliya will manifest in his heart.
What is that?
I heard a statement in a lecture.
You heard a statement in a lecture?
Yeah, the devotee said, when Krishna will give love to a devotee, Kaliya will manifest in his heart. Can you explain this more?
Kaliya, I don't know what was spoken totally into the, I don't know in which connection this has spoken. And Kaliya is Krishna.
Because you spoke of envious.
Yeah, envious, yeah.
Then he meant to say the false ego.
Yeah.
He's want to destroy this love.
Yeah.
Krishna is giving to the devotee.
Yeah. So the Maya is always there to keep everybody in the prison of this material world. And Krishna is always there to take the people out from the prison house. But finally Krishna will win. In the 7th chapter, text 14, Krishna said, Daivi is gunamayi, mama maya dhuratya mami vaya prapatyante maya mitam tarantite. He said, the one who have surrendered unto me, easily they will overcome, this Maya. Enmity, competing among each other, all those things are Maya, is an illusion. So when we wanted to go closer to Krishna, there will be a test from Maya. And the test is that, we should go more closer to Krishna. Maya come closer to you, you go closer to Krishna. And Krishna Prabhupada said, Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andakaraya, and Krishna Tahanai Maya Harikara. When there is a sunlight, there is no question of darkness. When there is darkness, there is no question of sunlight. So when you come closer to Krishna, then Maya go away from you. But till the point Maya will try to do a duty, because she been appointed to make sure that the living entities are kept in the prison house. Just like you do something wrong in the country, you've been put in the prison house. So the prison officer have to make sure that you are not running out from the prison house. But in the same time, the government thinking how to do something for you, that you can be corrected and you can come out from the prison house. So that way that prison officer is not a bad fellow, he's a good fellow, but he wants you to stay for a little while to get purified, be educated, so that you don't come out and do the wrong thing again. So Maya also very good energy of Krishna. So directly you can be loved by Krishna, or indirectly you can be loved by Krishna through Maya or Yamaraj. That's all. Krishna gives you direct love with smiling face, you don't want to accept that. And he comes with a rope and trident, and takes, you also want to give you love, come. This lifetime you don't listen to me, next life I'll take you to Afghanistan. And you fight with the Taliban. And same time you want to chant Hare Krishna, be difficult. So Krishna is very kind. He wants to give us, The parents are always very, So that is the thing. So you're very, gifted, at this age you have come here. Even though at the old age, sometimes body, has got different demand and, becoming a little bit of, invalid. But, you have come here and you live your body in the environment, in the association of a devotee. And this is your last life. Going back to Krishna in Kali Yuga is very, very easy. Very, very easy. Sing, dance and take prasadam, that's it. What becomes difficult when you fight with the devotees become difficult. If you don't do that, you are happy, singing, dancing and taking prasadam, you'll go back. You don't need to become a scholar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never discussed, this philosophy with everybody and anybody. Only with very few, very, very few. Ramananda Roy, Damodar, all these people, Mahaprabhu. But he never, in public anyway, he never discussed this philosophy because nobody will understand this philosophy. So now you don't need to worry, deep subject matter of, the philosophy. Just you have come here, remain happy, you're getting some prasadam, you're getting a place to stay. You're in the environment for devotee. While you can walk around and do something, you do something for Krishna. And if you got some money left, before dying, give it to the temple and leave the world. Don't give it to your children. Yeah. Because your goal is not come, you have not come here to take care of children and anybody. We have not come here to get married and have children. We have come here to revive our Krishna consciousness and go back to Krishna. And for that reason, he has given you a wife or husband, so help each other to go back to Krishna. It's not we wanted to make a permanent home in Switzerland. So at least, in your name, something better and greater can be done for the, for the welfare of the people, so that, the enmity will be taken away from us. So try to think it over. Don't worry about anything else. You're blessed in your life for your age to come and sit here is not easy, And the Shastra says, unless you have done, under lifetime you have done something very good, very pious activities. Somebody does, 100% pious activities under lifetime, they become a devotee. Or they have been, a Vaishnava created the merit for you in your life. Somewhere rather by the mercy of the devotees or by your own endeavor of 100 lifetime, you've got the opportunity to come to the devotee's place. And now you understand, you are not this body, you are not, the elements of all this stool and urine and, the earth and water. You are beyond, And sometimes you go and see that day I was in Sangala and there was, a lady passed away. She used to come for program that side, her body was kept into the, what do you call that, crematorium, For they've been keeping the body for 1 week, more than 1 week. Now you go and see. I went and saw went to the crematorium because the lady, used to, when I go there, come for program, And you look at the lady, nobody around, just lying down in that cold room, very cold, and she's lying down for 1 week there, and all the children, family outside all talking and laughing, life goes on normal, and the girl lady. Very pity. You have come here, devotee know exactly what to do with you, when you're dying, And my mother, at the same age, she was initiated. And my mother, when I went there before, that time I was in Australia, and I came to Malaysia, then said my mother, is lying down. And my mother says she wants to see me. I went to my mother. My mother told me one thing, my mother said, this is the place, this is the room, all of you children grown up. And he said, last time when I was very young, my mother said, I do a lot of housework and everything. I'm tired. I want to sleep in this room. And all the children will come and jump on me, mommy, mommy, mommy. You don't even let me to sleep. But now I'm lying down in the same room. I'm calling the children. Nobody wants to come. Even the dog is not coming to my room. And she said, Prabhupada writes, one purple, very nice purple. She said, Prabhupada writes there, when you have become invalid, dying, invalid, he says, even in your own house, you become, unwanted guest. Look at the world today, you got children, you have given them education, money, everything, and they put you into the old folks' home. You've been fed by somebody, who have got no any connection with you for money. You don't pay them money, they have no anything. You don't worry about, you on the street will be dying like a dogs and cats, But they put them in there because the fellow happy to give you food because he gets money. So where is the love, So we produce children, we give them so much of love through, the children, we immediately, and look at them, grown up, everybody go their own ways. That is the natural, of life. So you have to understand there is no love in the world. So only go back to Krishna. And when you are here, so be happy, take prasadam, and don't worry about anything else. Kaliya and other thing. Just chant Hare Krishna and leave the body. So my mother was there when I went to see her 1 week before. And my mother told me, see, look at it, my mother don't know how to read and write, And my mother had a problem with my father. Sometimes my father says something, my mother will say something back. And my father will beat my mother, she will slap my mother. But those days, in the Indian community, it's all normal. Morning they fight, night they sit and eat together. But we become, like a fool, that they become a friend. So my mother told me that, I'm having a hard time with your father, what I should do. So I told my mother, always chant Hare Krishna, take the beads and chant. And when after chanting you're tired, you take the Bhagavad Gita and just keep in your hand, My mother said, I don't know how to read. He said, don't worry, Krishna will help you. And my mother never been to school, she don't know how to read. So, but she wanted to escape from my father. So I told my mother, only way, my father also a religious person, He loves the children like anything. Even my father go to toilet, we will go and cry, my father will carry us and go and sit in the toilet. He loves the family, the children, but somewhere or other, they are, that chemistry, father and mother not going well. So I told my mother, he also praying man, he knows, Then my mother said, what to do? I said, give the beads, you chant Hare Krishna all the time, don't let go the beads. And when chanting finish, you keep the gift and then you take the Bhagavad Gita, sit down. So my father will go every day to speak to my mother. But he cannot speak to my mother because my mother either chanting Hare Krishna or she is reading Bhagavad Gita. She don't know how to read, but slowly, Krishna, I say, this is the miracle. Krishna gave her the intelligence, she can start reading really. And then my father comes, one day he told me, he said, you want to become a devotee, you go ahead, you become a devotee, but why you make your mother devotee? I cannot even speak to your mother. I said, because you're talking, there is a fight there, don't talk. And my mother told me, my dear son, you gave me a good ways to escape from your father. You gave me the beads, you gave me the Bhagavad Gita, your father is not coming near me. And my mother wanted to die, 1 week before she left the body, She told me that next Sunday, I was there Sunday, she said, next Sunday I'm leaving my body. I did not believe because, old people sometimes they talk something. And from there I went to another center about, 300 kilometers. I was doing program there. And on that day there was, appearance day of Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj, the disappearance day of a Gaur Govinda Maharaj. And I was in somebody's house, we are doing Puspanjali offering of flower. And the phone call, because those days we don't have a hand phone and all, so the phone call came to one of the friends' house. They said, your mother left the body. Just exactly she said that 1 week. So I went to see, went to the funeral, and my brother told me that, 1 day before my mother left the body, she told my brother, call all the devotees to come. We got a small centenary, and the devotees came, and my mother said, okay, put Krishna picture in front of me. And she said, all chant Hare Krishna. And while looking at Krishna chant, she left the body. She's not like a Bhismadev, very highly qualified, She's a simple village girl, but Krishna helps her. So Krishna consciousness is very easy and very simple. Only we are complicating many things, I'm not knowing much. Who cares whether you know or don't know? Ultimately, to surrender to Krishna, you've done the work already. So, you only thing you officially don't have a, certificate in your hand, but, you already passed the exam, why you worry. So like that, you have come here and your life is blessed. Take it easy and move on with your life. Nobody depends on you in the world. Our situation is the same. When you grow old, people do not know what to do with you. I tell you, those days, even in India today, Malaysia today, everybody do the same thing. They send the parents to the old folks home because they do not know what to do with them. And more, when you are devotee, more difficult for them. Because the children are not devotees, they think, I don't know what to do with my mother. She asking for prasadam, and this guy is eating meat, So a lot of things. So your life is blessed. Take it easy and enjoy the rest of your stay in Switzerland and go back to Krishna. That's it. Finished. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Nitai Gaura Pramanande. She's too serious for Krishna. She's too serious. Okay, so
Thank you, Maharaj.
Damodara Prasad. Krishna will be very happy for you. Trying to give us some prasadam and giving us some opportunity to chant Hare Krishna in the temple. So Krishna is happy for you. And we are becoming in touch with you. We have to give back some prasadam for you now.
Please.
Only way I can get it is when you come to India. Very nice. And I'm waiting for the day when we can take sannyas.
That's it for sure.
Your story, your history, year after year after going, I don't know if it's going to happen this year, it's going to happen.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Vittori Srimati Bhakti Mukunda Swami Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Vittori Srimati Bhakti Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauranga Krishna Krishna Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Vittori Srimati Bhakti Swami Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Vittori Srimati Bhakti
In these apartments.